So both our parents have been obviously been hugely influential to Zara and myself, and I think primarily it's through their work ethic. Both of them are incredibly hardworking, and still both in their 70s. They're still working probably a lot harder than either of them probably expected. But then, as my mother.
Imagine a royal family in crisis. Not a future crisis, not a hypothetical collapse, but the very real situation facing the monarchy right now. Two senior royals gone in the span of a few years, one removed in disgrace, one gone by choice across the ocean, beyond the reach of duty. A shrinking working royal family, fewer hands, more responsibility, endless pressure, and a public watching every move. Now imagine the whispers growing inside royal circles, the quiet conversations happening behind closed doors, the subtle signals pointing toward two figures who have never asked for attention, never sought the crown, and never demanded a title. Imagine that the answer to the monarchy's biggest crisis comes not from princes or dukes, but from the two untitled children of Princess Anne. People who were never meant to be working royals, but who may now be perfectly positioned to save the institution from its own shrinking ranks. This is the story of Peter Phillips and Zara Tindall, and why many believe they are the strongest, safest, and most capable candidates to replace Prince Andrew and Prince Harry in the new shape of the monarchy. Before we dive in, there's something I need to share with you. Over the past few days, thousands have watched these stories unfold, but most haven't subscribed. If you're one of them, I invite you now to join us. Subscribe to Crownverse so you never miss the next chapter in this unfolding royal history. To understand why the names Peter and Zara are suddenly resurfacing in royal discussions, you must first understand the crisis that created this moment. For decades, the monarchy relied heavily on a large cast of working royals: Charles, Anne, Andrew, Edward, the Queen herself, and later their spouses and children. It was a system built on numbers, on public presence, on availability. But over time, one by one, those numbers dwindled. Prince Philip retired. The Queen passed away. Prince Andrew was forced to step down after the Epstein scandal. Prince Harry stepped back from royal life and moved to America, taking Meghan and their children with him. And Princess Kate, under immense pressure and currently focused on her own health and recovery, cannot realistically carry the entire weight of the future royal family on her shoulders. That leaves Charles, Camilla, William, when health allows, Anne, Edward, and Sophie, a small, stretched team tasked with supporting an institution that demands dozens of public engagements every week, hundreds of patronages, and global representation. This contraction has led many to wonder who can fill the gap. Who can step into the roles left behind by Andrew and Harry? Who can represent the monarchy without controversy, without scandal, without political agendas, and without dividing the public? That is where the focus turns to two people who were never meant to wear the weight of royal duty, but who may, ironically, be perfectly equipped for it: Peter Phillips and Zara Tindall, the children Princess Anne deliberately raised outside of the royal bubble. To understand their suitability, you must first understand the decision that shaped their entire lives. Princess Anne, born into royalty, yet known as the hardest-working member of the institution, made a radical choice. When her children were born, she declined royal titles for them. She could have accepted the styling of prince and princess. It was offered, but she refused. She believed her children deserved freedom, independence, a chance at a normal life. She knew firsthand the pressures of royal titles, the constraints, the expectations. She wanted something different for Peter and Zara. She once explained that titles have downsides, that life is easier without them, and that her children were better off growing up outside the constraints of royal formality. That single choice changed everything. Peter and Zara were raised on a vast country estate, Gatcombe Park, surrounded by fields, horses, privacy, and space to be ordinary children. No media frenzy, no palace restrictions, no training for public life. They went to regular schools. They pursued careers of their own. They built identities separate from royalty. They were born royal, but not raised royal. And that is exactly why they have become such appealing candidates now. The royal family today faces issues that only neutrality and stability can fix. Prince Andrew's scandal created a vacuum and public distrust. Prince Harry's departure strained the institution and removed a charismatic, younger male working royal who would have represented the crown for decades. The monarchy needs people who are disciplined but relatable, dedicated but not polarizing, familiar to the public but untouched by controversy. And that is who Peter and Zara have become. Let's begin with Peter Phillips. Born in 1977, he was Queen Elizabeth II's first grandchild, the oldest of his generation, a man she reportedly adored, though that description is based on commentary rather than official statement, and must be considered as widely believed rather than official. Peter grew up grounded, thoughtful, quietly confident. He was never a working royal, yet he has always been present at major family events. He walked beside Prince William and Prince Harry in the Queen's funeral procession. He has represented the family at certain public gatherings when needed. He is known for his measured personality, his calm demeanor, and his professionalism. For a royal family needing stability after Andrew's downfall, Peter represents an anchor, reliable, steady, uncontroversial. Then there is Zara Tindall. Born in 1981, she has become one of the most admired members of the extended royal family. A world-class equestrian, Olympic silver medalist, and deeply respected athlete. She has spoken openly about how grateful she is not to have a title, saying that she was lucky to grow up without that burden. Her life reflects the values the monarchy wants to project: discipline, humility, kindness, and dedication. She and her husband, former rugby star Mike Tindall, are beloved for their authenticity. They have never tried to leverage royal status for fame. They have kept their children grounded. They show up for the royal family when called upon, without drama, without hesitation, without personal agendas. Their connection to the Queen was particularly strong. Some commentators have even gone as far to describe Zara as having a closer bond with the late monarch than certain senior royals, though these claims are based on opinion and cannot be verified. Still, the affection between them was evident in public interactions.
So why, after decades of living private lives, are Peter and Zara suddenly being discussed as candidates to step into roles once held by Andrew and Harry? Because the monarchy is shrinking. Because the public is watching. Because trust has been damaged. Because reputation matters more than ever. Because the institution cannot afford another decade of chaos. Peter and Zara bring something none of the others do: neutrality. They are not caught in the crossfire of royal rivalries. They have no scandals attached to their names. They are not political. They are modern, relatable, and yet deeply respectful of the monarchy. They straddle a unique line: royal by blood, ordinary by lifestyle. If they step forward, they do so not as entitled aristocrats, but as grounded adults who understand leadership, responsibility, and service without fanfare. But can they, legally or structurally, step into working royal roles? This part is crucial. There is no rule preventing them from serving the monarchy. Titles are not required. Many working royals have operated without princely status. What matters is the monarch's decision. If King Charles or Prince William, the monarchy's future, chooses to expand the team, they could invite Peter and Zara to take on patronages, represent the crown at events, or manage specific public duties. And because they have no titles, the public may even see them as more relatable, more trustworthy, more grounded than the formal senior royals. But here is where the situation becomes even more interesting. There are whispers, unverified but persistent, that the palace has been quietly considering the possibility of expanding the working royal roster. Not immediately, not publicly, but in internal discussions. Whether Peter and Zara were specifically mentioned in these speculated conversations is unclear and must be treated purely as rumor. But the logic behind their candidacy is undeniable. They are Anne's children, and Anne is the monarchy's backbone. They grew up at Gatcombe Park, a hub of royal duty and equestrian tradition. They are beloved by the late Queen's generation. They are respected by the public. They have stability, maturity, and a clean record. Most importantly, they would not bring drama. Compare that to what the monarchy has endured. Prince Andrew removed from public life. Prince Harry and Meghan stepping down. The Queen's passing. Prince Philip's passing. Princess Kate's reduced presence due to health needs. A nation demanding visibility and support from the monarchy. The institution is running on fewer people than at any point in modern history. Peter and Zara represent an opportunity to rebuild, not through scandal, not through political positioning, not through forced publicity, but through quiet, steady, dependable service. Now imagine the public reaction. There would be interest, curiosity, maybe even excitement, but there would not be outrage. There would not be division. There would not be scandal. There would not be tabloid wars. The same cannot be said for bringing back Harry, and Andrew is simply not an option. For the first time in decades, the monarchy could add new working royals without controversy. There is another layer, one often overlooked. Peter and Zara are the eldest adult grandchildren of the late Queen. They represent her legacy. They represent continuity. They represent the era of stability the public still longs for. And they do so while carrying the values instilled by Princess Anne. Discipline, loyalty, and duty without theatrics. There is also practicality. Many engagements require younger, energetic representatives. Zara and Peter are in their prime. They understand the modern world. They have their own careers, but could dedicate part-time or full-time hours to royal duties if needed. And unlike certain royals, they could step into these roles without overshadowing the future king and queen. But will they? That is the unanswered question. Princess Anne has always valued their freedom. She may resist the idea of her children being drawn into the system she tried to protect them from. Princess Zara has expressed her gratitude for growing up without a title. Peter has built his life independently. They may prefer to stay private. But duty has a way of calling those who least expect it. Just as King Charles never thought he'd wait 70 years to take the throne. Just as Prince William never thought he'd become the central stabilizing force after Harry's departure. Just as Queen Elizabeth never thought she'd ascend the throne at 25. No one chooses their destiny in the royal family. But when the crown calls, its voice is hard to ignore. Peter and Zara may never become working royals, but they could. And if they do, they would be stepping in not as replacements, but as restorations, restoring manpower, stability, continuity, and trust. Replacing the void left by Prince Andrew's downfall and the vacuum left by Prince Harry's departure is not easy. But the path forward may lie not in looking outward, not in reinventing the monarchy, but in returning to what worked before. The quiet discipline of Princess Anne's branch of the family. The monarchy needs strength. It needs neutrality. It needs reliability. It needs faces the public respects. It needs people who have never embarrassed the institution. It needs royals who understand the meaning of duty. And perhaps, just perhaps, it needs the two children who were never meant to serve, but who may be the only ones capable of holding the institution together for the next generation.